If you were a football fan around 2017, you probably remember the name SACKsonville. And it's because that is the Jacksonville Jaguars name for their defense. But it was given to them because they were the most feared defense at this time. But sadly, they fell apart and none of the same players are on the team. So today, we're going to try to rebuild Sacksonville and make sure that they don't fall apart. The offense for this team isn't really that impressive. I mean, Blake Bortles had a good season that season, and Leonard Fournette as a rookie, not bad. But you have Allen Robinson as your best, wide receiver. Cam Robinson is a rookie, but the offensive line is kind of mediocre. And obviously, Mercedes Lewis being your best tight end at only a 73 is kind of iffy. But then defensively, you had one of the best defensives that year. You have Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Bouye both in their primes practically. You have Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue. And, I mean, you just had complete studs at linebacker with Miles Jack and Bobby Church and Tashawn Gibson. Yeah, Tashawn Gibson. You had a really, really good defense. Obviously, we're going to be using the next draft class after this year. So this is 2017 year. We'll be using 2018 draft class. So I'm going to go, I don't really have to do any scouting for it because you kind of know how these players ended up. But other than that, we're going to sim to the mid-season point of our first season to see if we should make any changes. I'm thinking about moving to a 3-4 or a 4-3 because I like the way it plays in Madden a lot better. It seems to get a lot more sacks, but we'll see at the mid-season mark. I don't think I'm going to be needing to make any changes, honestly, as we're 7-0 at the mid-season point. But let's take a look at our stats real quick to see why. I mean, Blake Bortles isn't doing anything crazy. It looks like, 1,700 yards. Never mind. 20 touchdowns to only 1 interception is pretty nuts. Leonard Fournette, 600 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. Very, very good from him. Nothing too crazy from our receivers, but that's kind of what you expect. Defensively, I'm hoping I see a lot of sacks. Telvin Smith with 11, Calais Campbell with 6, Malik Jackson with 4, Miles Jack with 2.5, and Yannick Ngakoue with 2.5 as well. 2 interceptions for Jalen Ramsey, 1 for Telvin Smith, and 1 for A.J. Bouye. I mean, nothing crazy on the defensive side, but, I mean, we're 7-0, so they're getting it done, what needs to get done. So let's go to the end of the season and see if we can keep up on pace to have an undefeated season. Sadly, we don't go undefeated, but the team rankings are really good. We had the second best offense points per game wise and the best defense points per game wise, which just goes to show you how crazy this defense really was. Blake Bortles, 43 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, 4,600 yards. Rushing, Leonard Fournette had 1,113 touchdowns. Receiving, Allen Hurns gets a 1,000-yard season. He's experienced with 3, so probably not going to do anything crazy to him for his career. But Telvin Smith with 21 sacks, Calais Campbell with 15.5, Malik Jackson with 7.5, Yannick Ngakoue with 5.5. Interception-wise, 6 for Jalen Ramsey, 2 for A.J. Bouye, 1 for Telvin Smith, Jalen Myrick, Barry Church, and Blair Brown. I said Bobby Church in the beginning, didn't I? I mean Barry, my bad. All with 1. Nothing crazy there from those guys getting 1. But yearly awards, let's take a look. Blake Bortles at 2. Matt Ryan wins it. I think this is the year they went to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure, though. We are in the AFC. Leonard Fournette is second for Offensive Player of the Year. Le'Veon Bell, Le'Veon Bell's not a rookie. I don't know what I'm thinking. Dude's kind of old. Defensive Player of the Year. Telvin Smith was at 3. I thought he had a really good season. I'm surprised he didn't get it. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Leonard Fournette at 1. He wins it. That's really good for the future of his career. Other than that, there's no other Jags that I see. But, I mean, we're already starting off really good, going 15-2. So let's go to the playoffs and see if we can win a Super Bowl this year. So we're going to be facing the Bills in the divisional round. The Bills are a really good sim team, but this is before Josh Allen and all that. And we do lose, though, 24-21. It sucks, but that's why we're here. We're here to make this the best team possible. We start out 15-2, so I think that's already at a good point. So I think the best thing we can do is go to the draft, make sure we retain free agents, see what's in free agency, and then go to the draft to make sure that we have the best possible team. Here we are in free agency, and if you've made it this far and you haven't already liked the video, please do so. It really helps me out a lot. And also, think about subscribing because I do a lot more content like this. And if you have a video idea you want me to do, let me know in the comments down below because I'd love to do those kind of videos for you because it's what people are interested in if you want it done. So let me know in the comments below. But looking here at the free agents, I'm not really sure who I'm going to go for. It doesn't look like we have any super big names here. I do think I want to try to keep Josh Wells, a right tackle, 76 overall. I think we're going to give him a player-friendly deal. He wants to stay. That's really good. Allen Robinson doesn't really want to be here, so we kind of have to let him walk because I don't really feel like overpaying for him. Marquise Lee, I'm going to give him a neutral deal, and he's going to test free agency. That's fine. I think free agency is where I'm going to try to find some of the better players anyway. I think I'm just going to let everyone else on this roster walk, though. I do really like the fact that, I kind of know what's in the draft class. This is the Baker Mayfield Sam Darnold draft class, so I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. I don't know if people are going to progress like they should, but in free agency, Nate Solder, I think I'm saying that correctly. I'm not 100% sure. Kyle Fuller would be a good CB3 to get, but if we do that, we don't really have much space to get anyone else, so I think we're going to have to withdraw the offer on that. I think Nate Solder could be a good option. He's still expensive though, so it kind of depends if we're winning on him. So we're just going to evaluate the offers, see if he comes to us, and he does. He'll be a good left tackle. I can move him to guard. I have a little bit of versatility with that. So let's go to the draft and see who we're going to get. So we have the 28th pick in the draft. And this is, like I said before, this is the Baker Mayfield draft. There's a couple people that I want. I mean, we already have, a good running back in Leonard Fournette. Denzel Ward would be kind of cool to get. Minkah Fitzpatrick would also be good. Roquan Smith. But then you also have people like Vita Bea, Daron Payne, Frank Ragnow, Quentin Nelson, Jair Alexander. You have those guys, and Derwin James would be a really cool fit. Tremaine Edmonds, Terrell Edmonds, Leighton Vander Esch, Lamar Jackson. That would be kind of cool to get. But Hayden Hurst would be good. Dante Jackson's another good fit. Austin Corbett is another really good player. Cortland Sutton would be cool to have. We kind of need wide receiver. I don't know, what some of the wide receivers down the board are. DJ Moore is here. DJ Chark is here. We could bring him back to the Jags. I think he was a good pickup by then. Just injuries kind of halted his career. Down the board, though, Marquez Valdes-Scantling could be a good late-round pick. Russell Gage, Braxton Berrios, Brandon Zylstra. I'm not really sure about any of these other ones, though. Alan Lazard, just being a Byron Pringle. Sometimes I'm just saying the names that I see, not necessarily that we should go for them. Hayden Hurst, Mike Gesicki, Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews. Oh, I think Mark Andrews, if he's still available late, we should go for him. Or Dalton Schultz. I think all of those are really, really good selections at that spot. We do need like front and center people, but let's take a look at our team right now, because I don't want to be just going after the biggest name because it's the biggest name. I do need offensive line. I need a left guard. So I think getting a left guard in the draft would be beneficial. A tight end, 100%. A wide receiver 2, and a wide receiver 1 would be nice to have, but it's not the number one priority. Getting a really good defensive tackle and a guy, and one of the guys in the draft would be nice to have. But it's kind of up to my discretion because I feel like a lot of holes on this team are filled, and it's just what do we want to do? I think left guard is a must, so getting Quentin Nelson may be the best choice. And I mean, there's so many good players. I don't really want to trade up. But I feel like I kind of have to be able to get the players that I want in the positions I want them. We have the 28th pick, 60th on third. I think we're projected to have the first overall pick next year, and I just don't believe that because if I do my job correctly, we should have a super low pick actually. So we're gonna see if we can get this from the Bears. They don't want to do that. If I take out the third and I just go with a fourth, they think that's good. I honestly could go back a little bit in this draft and just kind of run it from there, like the 13th pick from the Broncos and grabbing a 9th from them next year and a 3rd this year. That honestly might work. It's close. I think if I take the 3rd out, I don't know why. Let's do a 1st this year. What? Wait. Am I tripping? Did I pass the one who was at 13? Was it the Bills at 13? Because I saw 13 and I was good with that. Okay, I guess I'm tripping. But let's take a look here. 15 for the Commanders. That's perfect. Kind of where we want to be. Let's trade that pick for this year. Ooh, they don't want to budge on that. What if we just did it straight up? Straight up. It's a done deal. So we trade our pick next year for a pick this year, but we also get some really solid players this year. I think I have a thought process of what I want to do. If Quentin Nelson is gone at this point, he's gone. No big deal. Because Frank Ragnow is here. But I'm scrolling down. I honestly could just look him up. He's definitely gone. He went really early, I bet. Yep, he's totally gone. But Frank Ragnow is here, who I think is a really good selection for us. He definitely has the guard ability. Hidden development. That's what you love to see. Don't worry about the face scans. They're not correct. But let's look at who our next player we're going to get is. I'm thinking DJ Moore or DJ Chark. One of those guys. I'm thinking a wide receiver here. Seems like the best idea. DJ Moore is here. I think that's the route we got to go. DJ Moore was really solid for the Carolina Panthers, and I think he'll be really solid for us. I think he slots in at wide receiver 1 almost straight away. I think he's got that ability just to be wide receiver 1 from the whole time. Nothing really crazy there. With our next pick, what do we want to do? It's a really... I mean, Fred Warner is here. Justin Reed is here. I think... I think we have to go... I think we have to go Fred Warner. I mean, he's one of the best middle linebackers in the league right now. I think we'd be dumb not to go with him to create this powerhouse of a defense that we're looking at. I think he's going to be a vital piece of that. In real life, if you want to create a super team with a defense, I think he's one of the guys that you try to get. Isaiah Oliver's still here. Derek Nottie, a good defensive lineman right there. Let's go to tight ends and see if any of them have gone yet. Will Dissly's here. Dalton Schultz is still here. He's at day 3. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it in the long run. There's not really much else that I've seen so far. Only normal development. But I probably will be changing the scheme a little bit, especially if our offensive line is good. Because there's OP playbooks out there. So I want to be able to play into those. But other than that, looking around here, I'm not seeing any craziness. Jesse Bates, I think Easy pick in the late rounds. Free safety of the future, 100%. I'm gonna go through here and see if there's any other studs that haven't been combed through yet. Hopefully there are, because it'd be nice to get some of those guys. Let's look at wide receivers though. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I think is a good pick here. 94 speed, hidden development too. I mean, obviously we have an advantage because we know how these players turn out, but I also think it's really cool to be able to add these players to a team and create a super team. So let's take a look at the summary of the draft and see what we got. So Frank Ragnow is a 77 overall, Fred Warner is a 76, DJ Moore is a 72, Jesse Bates is a 72, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is only a 67, Dalton Schultz, probably could have done better on him, he's a 66, but a lot of these guys we just have to develop. So let's rearrange the depth chart and let's take a look at the team. So here's what the team is going to be looking like going into year number 2. Dalton Schultz is our starter. I'm going to try to get him upgraded. DJ Moore is going to become wide receiver number 1. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is wide receiver 2. Hearns is wide receiver 3. Leonard Fournette and Blake Bortles still in the backfield. But other than that, nothing really much changed on the defense. Have a lot of the same starters, except that Fred Warner is now middle linebacker 2, with definitely the ability to take over Miles Jack's spot depending on his dev trait, that kind of thing. DJ Moore is going to be in the slot. Slot corner is going to be Jesse Bates, and Fred Warner will also be sub linebacker. So let's see at the midseason mark how this team's playing. If I need to make changes, I will. If I'm thinking about trading people, I will. We are 5-1 at the midseason mark. Not better than last season, but still very, very good in that sense. Blake Bortles, 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. Rushing-wise, Leonard Fournette, only 370 yards. DJ Moore, 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's doing very, very good in this system. I did switch to the Chiefs playbook because I want to get Dalton Schultz to where Dalton Schultz is right now. Defensively, Calais Campbell, 5.5 sacks. Telvin Smith with 3.5. Malik Jackson with 3. Marcel Darius with 1.5. 1 interception across the board. Jesse Bates has 1, which is going to be very, very good. But let's see where, for tackles wise, Fred Warner is 24, half a sack and a tackle for a loss. Not bad by him, but let's go to the end of the season and see if this team can keep up their success. Here we are in the playoffs. We go 12-5. Not bad at all, honestly. It's a really good season for most teams, but obviously with a team like this, you want to have a really good season. 4,700 yards, 33 touchdowns for Blake Bortles. He does take a little bit of a step back, but nothing crazy. 900 yards for Leonard Fournette, 14 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, DJ Moore went crazy with 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. A very, very good season from them, and that's really what you want to see. Calais Campbell did what Calais Campbell does and has 22 sacks. He's definitely going to be going up. I know he's a little older here, but I mean, it doesn't matter. Dude is just a living legend, honestly. Interceptions, Jalen Ramsey with 3, Telvin Smith with 2, AJ Bouye with 2, Fred Warner had 1. He had 7 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, and 107 tackles total. He had a really good season. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. I don't think there's going to be any. Blake Bortles is 10 for MVP. DJ Moore is 3rd for Offensive Player of the Year. No other Jaguars there. Calais Campbell is 2nd for Defensive Player of the Year, and no other Jags. Offensive Rookie of the Year does go to DJ Moore. Dalton Schultz at 5. He had a really good season. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling at 9. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Denzel Ward. Jair Alexander is on the Chiefs. Fred Warner is at 4. And Jesse Bates is at 6. All these guys had really good seasons on our team. All of our rookies did. So I'm not going to be surprised if in the couple years we have one of the best teams ever. So let's see if we're able to beat the Patriots here in the wild card round. They have prime Tom Brady, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. And it looks like we do 33-10. Now we go against the Steelers, and it looks like we're able. Nah, we're not. We lose 21-13, but it is what it is. We have another year of drafting and free agents and just basically creating a super team. Here for player negotiations, Blake Bortles at an 82 overall with only star development. I'll have to think about that. I know I probably will, but it's just not something I want to do right now. I want to see who else I have to re-sign. AJ Can is a big must for re-signings. He's happy to stay here, so that's really good. No other player here is really making me want them that badly. So we're gonna pay Blake Bortles. I don't think we have to give him a crazy contract. He wants to be here next season. He gets 4 years, basically till he's 31, and most likely we're not gonna re-sign him after that. We're probably not even gonna still be doing the rebuild after 4 years. But let's go to the draft. Or let's go to free agency. My bad. Let's go to free agency. See who's there. See if we can get anybody to upgrade this team. And Jarvis Landry is here. That would be a very big pickup for our offensive line. Or, I mean, not offensive line. For our wide receiving core. And I think I'm going to do it. I think having a wide receiver one would really help us out tremendously. We're the only ones offering on him. It doesn't look like there's any other players that I'd be super interested in. So I think we send it through and cross your fingers that he accepts this offer. And he does. So now we have a true wide receiver one. We have DJ Moore. But let's take a look at the roster real quick before I go. See what some of the depth traits of the rookies were. Frank Ragnow had star. DJ Moore had superstar. Dalton Schultz is now a 70 overall, which is really nice to see. I mean, Blake Bortles is an 82 overall. Fred Warner had superstar. Jesse Bates had superstar. I honestly think he's going to start next year over Deshaun Gibson. Calais Campbell, I'm pretty sure, went up to superstar. But other than that, everybody else really stayed the same. This defense is still looking really good after, its second year, and we still have to draft people. So let's head to the draft and see if we can upgrade it even more. So in the draft here, this is kind of what I want to show you. Don't worry about the face scans, but the players are correct. This is the draft with Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, Devin White, Josh Allen, Ed Oliver, Devin Bush, Rashawn Gary is in here as well, Christian Wilkins. So what I'm thinking, right, is we trade up again, and we try to go for Nick Bosa. We're trying to create SACKsonville, and if we want to get sacks, we want Nick Bosa. So we have to trade up to 2. I don't know what our projection is for next year. We don't have a pick this year because I traded it away. We have pick 32. We're expected to win the Super Bowl, so that is not good. Not good for us, but I think if we throw a first, third in there, we can go to whoever has the first overall pick, and we can try to get Nick Bosa. I think we should go either for 1 or 2 for the picks. It doesn't make sense to try to grab a pick that no one's gonna, or it doesn't make sense to try to grab the pick because, I mean, what if he goes at 1? Right? We really wanted 1. It doesn't look like we're going to get it because they're stingy and they don't want to give it up because they really want Quinnen Williams. I think Nick Bosa is the better player. I think Quinnen Williams is really good, but I think Nick Bosa is just better. So let's see what the interest there is. It's not crazy, but maybe it's doable. And no. What do they need? They need a cornerback. How do you guys feel about... Oof. No, I really don't want to give up anyone on our defense. I really like where our defense is. Huh. Okay. What do I do then? What do I do? Because, I mean, you don't want to trade away our quarterback, right? Oh, no. Number 1 overall pick is Kyler Murray. What if I did trade away Blake Bortles and got Kyler Murray? No, because Blake Bortles was a big part of that team, and I don't really want to. I don't want to do that. Man, this is tough. Maybe I don't trade up. Maybe I don't trade up. Because I want SACKsonville back, you know. So we kind of want to get a really good, you know, team. Who's on our team right now? Yannick Ngakoue, Calais Campbell. I mean, shoot, this defense is still really good. Is there any really good strong safeties though? In 2019 draft class, what are some of the strong safeties that were around? I'm trying to think of some. For some reason, my mind keeps going to Jamal Adams, which just isn't correct. There's no way. Strong safeties. Okay. Jonathan Abram, Taylor Rapp, Mike Edwards, Armani Hooker. No other really crazy ones. No crazy ones. Free safety, Darnell Savage, Nazir Adderley, Juan Thornhill, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is in here. I don't really think there's anything crazy there though. Byron Murphy, Rockison, Sean Murphy Bunting, Greedy Williams. No crazy. Jamel Dean is a good corner though. For outside linebackers, not anyone crazy there. Devin White and Devin Bush would be really good to get. Josh Allen would also be one of those crazy good players to get. If he's there when I can pick, I would. Maybe actually defensive tackle is really stacked. So Quinnen Williams would be nice get. Ed Oliver, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence. I think we go Dexter Lawrence here. I think he'd be a really good option. I don't really want to change to a 4-3. But if this is tough because I don't want to change the way our defense is, because the way our defense has been playing the last couple of years just makes sense to keep it that way. But I also think that a 4-3 would be really nice. But we also have Fred Warner, so I got to think about that. Okay. I'm going to do the first and second round pick, and I'm going to try to get... I'm going to see if the Bears will accept this. If they do, that's great. They don't. So I think I'm going to give everything up for Dexter Lawrence and just pray that he's really good. Oh, they don't even want that. Okay. I guess his second next year as well. It's a done deal. Dexter Lawrence it is. If he's gone by that time, I'm actually going to be mad. Okay? Because TJ Hawkinson is gone. That wasn't someone on my board, though. Wasn't someone on my radar. Okay. We could get Daniel Jones. Super good player. Just kidding. He's gone. Great. Okay. What do I do? Montez Sweat. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Montez Sweat. That's super easy. All right. Well, that's pretty much our draft, actually. So let's go and take a look at the team before we start season number 3. So here's a look at our team going into year number 3. We have Blake Bortles at quarterback, Jarvis Landry is QB1. Everything else is pretty much the same. Defensively, I moved Calais Campbell to defensive tackle. Montez Sweat is going to start at right end, and then everything else is pretty much the same other than Jesse Bates is going to be starting at free safety over to Sean Gibson. And our specialists for this year are going to be slot receiver is going to be DJ Moore. Miles Jack and Fred Warner are going to be our 2 sub linebackers again. And rush D tackle is going to be not Ed Oliver, but Calais Campbell. I just have to set everything up. So I'll show you that again when time comes. But I think we have a really good chance at doing well this year again. Once again, our team really stayed the same, but got upgrades in little spots. And through the first 6 games of the season, we are 4-2. So it's actually a little bit of regression each year. We go 6-0, 5-1, and now 4-2. I don't know if it's a coincidence or if that's what's going to be happening in the future, but at least we're 4-2. Let's see if we can keep it up. A much better second half to the season than last year. We go 15-2 and are still in the wild card for some reason. Blake Bortles has a really good season, going 4,800 yards, 44 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Leonard Fournette, 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry and DJ Moore, both over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. And defensively, Telvin Smith, 18 sacks. Calais Campbell, 11.5. Fred Warner with 9. And Yannick Ngakoue with 9. Very, very good stats from them. Miles Jack had 7 interceptions, and Jalen Ramsey had 4. AJ Bouye with 3, and Jesse Bates with 2. He had a really good starting point. But let's take a look real quick at who beat us out for the slot, because it just doesn't make any sense to me who beat us. And what? Why does it keep showing me this? All right, over. I guess we're not going to find out. But actually, let's view standings real quick. Oh, the Chargers went 15-2 as well, and yet they got it over us, apparently. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but let's see if we're able to beat the Raiders in the wild card round. I mean, we're 15-2. I feel like we should beat a 9-8 team, and we don't. Of course we don't. It doesn't make sense. Why would we beat a 9-8 team? It's just whatever. I can't be asked about that. It is what it is. We have over 28 million in cap space, but we also need to trade or re-sign some really good players for our team, like Jalen Ramsey, who wants to test out free agency, but I don't really want that to happen. So there we go. We're franchise tagging Jalen Ramsey. Miles Jack, if he doesn't accept this, he does. We were going to let him walk if he didn't, but he doesn't, so that's perfect. Yannick Ngakoue, very replaceable by Montez Sweat. He had a really good year, but I just don't think we can afford him. Nate Solder is going to be gone as well. Josh Lambo, most likely gone as well. My issue is we just can't pay any of these guys. Paul Polunski is going to be gone as well. Most of these guys are going to be gone. We have $2.1 million in cap, so I can't pay them. So that kind of sucks. But let me see if I can work some magic and get them back on the team. Sadly, I wasn't really able to do anything to keep them, so they're gone. But it is what it is. It sucks, but it's kind of what has to be done. This is most likely the last year of the rebuild because I basically got them back to where they were. I'm not going to be able to give any of these guys money in free agency, though, so there's really no reason for me to be looking. So let's just go to the draft, look over those players. The draft face games are really weird. They have the cyber face ones and then Little Yachty for some reason. But it's the Joe Burrow draft class 2020. Trevor Lawrence comes in the next draft class in 2021. So it just makes sense to end there because once they get Trevor Lawrence, I'm pretty sure they're going to be dominant anyway, and you can kind of figure out what they're going to do. They're probably going to win a couple Super Bowls with him because, Trevor Lawrence is able to win with a bad team, so imagine with him with one of the best teams. But let's take a look at the draft, see who we can get, see how we can help them out this year, and maybe I'll do another year. I'm not sure. I don't think there's a 2021 draft class in there for this. It sucks, but it is what it is. There's really not much I can do about that. I wish I could make my own, but I don't know how the guys make them. I don't know how they do that. It's weird because the cyber faces, I feel like they import them some way, and then just change a little couple ratings here and there and then fix the faces. Maybe I'll go through and fix faces for these drafts, but it's already the end of Madden 23, so I don't think I'll do that. It's weird. We have a third round pick in this draft. Probably won't trade up for anybody. I just think this is kind of one of a dud year. I don't think I can do any trading because I'm above the cap. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. You have Justin Herbert, and then Little Yachty as Jedrick Willis, and then Little Yachty as C.J. Henderson, and then Little Yachty as Mekhi Becton. So you have a lot of really good players here, like Mekhi Becton, Tristan Wirfs. I think Tristan Wirfs would be someone I go after. Let's just act like, just in your mind, imagine that next year is just a complete reset. Any picks that were traded the years before just completely reset. And they just basically get what they had before. So I'm going to trade up in the top 10 to see if I can get them, because I think having what's his name, Tristan Wirfs would be really good for this team. They need a quarterback. I don't really have anybody for him. What about centers? Nope. No centers. Wide receiver. I may have a wide receiver for him. What about Marquez Valdes-Scantling? Do you want him? You don't? What a shame. We may not get him. I think I'm just going to sim. I don't think this draft matters too much. I think I'm just going to sim to the end of the draft. We're going to take a look at the team, and we're going to go into the final year of this rebuild. Because, I mean, you kind of, like I said before, you'll pretty much know what's going to happen with Trevor Lawrence joining this team. I mean, he's a really good player. As much as I didn't like him in college because he's Mr. Golden Boy, you can't deny he's really good at what he does. So let's take a look. We have an available salary cap of $1 million. So, maybe we'll do a trade or something, but we'll find out. The biggest change I made this season is going to be Fred Warner playing right outside linebacker. Jesse Bates is starting. Nothing else really changed other than it's a 4-3 now, other than what we did in the past. But I think this is just a solid team. Every part of this team is just decent. Dalton Schultz will be our starting tight end. But let's see what we can do in year number 3. It's some kind of year. So let's see what we can do. At the midseason mark, we're doing even better. We're 7-0. So let's see if we can keep this rolling, go 17-0, and win a Super Bowl before we get Trevor Lawrence. Because, like I said, if we do really well here, I'm pretty much gonna stop it, honestly. So let's see. Sadly, we can't go 17-0, but we go 16-1. So it's pretty much the same thing. Let's take a look at our stats. I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, it went away. Okay, never mind. So 4,900 yards for Blake Bortles, 42 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Not bad. Jarvis Landry, DJ Moore, and Dalton Schultz all go for over 1,000 yards. Very, very good from them. Sack-wise, I don't know if we have a really big sack leader, and we don't. Fred Warner with 12.5, Telvin Smith with 14.5, Calais Campbell with 10.5. Interceptions, Deshaun Gibson with 4, Miles Jack with 3, Barry Church with 3, Jalen Ramsey with 2. A lot of sacks and a lot of interceptions. Just a really good defense overall. So let's see if we're able to win games in the playoffs. Let's see who we're going against in the divisional round. It looks like it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals, who got Jared Goff. In real life, they would have Joe Burrow at this time, but he would have been injured. We lose 34-28. That's it. That's the end. We lose on that. Whatever. This team can't. There's no saving Sacksonville. They're just going to keep losing in the playoffs, so close to a Super Bowl. But in all seriousness, Sacksonville had a really good season that year. It sucks they fell apart because I actually enjoyed watching that defense play. But it is what it is. I mean, teams rise and fall all the time, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the rise once again. So maybe we'll see Sacksonville make a return. But for now, this is what it is. So thank you guys for watching, and peace.